person, so I had to get off the phone abruptly. But just right away, so many emotions stirred, and I had to work very hard to stop them from bubbling up to the surface. And it's funny because that's a big step to be able to maintain that control. Huge for me. The thing is, though, I need it to be like autopilot. And most times it is. Most times I can, I'm pretty cool. Keep the responses in check. But that's because I'm mostly prepared for the mess that always, that there's never no shortage of mess. And so I kind of stay prepared for it. But when the mess comes from an unexpected place or comes in an unexpected way, I mess around and have a human experience. But fortunately, we keep in mind that we have some responsibility in making sure that 100%, that 10% what happens to you and 90% how you respond, making sure that 100% works out in our favor, or at least done work out in a way that hurts us too badly. I spoke to a young brother today, called the firm, looking for some help. And man, it costs to deal with this court system. I knew it when I was a defendant. I know it even better now as a defender. It costs. And I told this young man something that I remember my uncle telling me many, many, many years ago when I was about to make some bad decisions. My uncle said, "Don't let a dime get you in trouble that a dollar cannot get you out of." And in my young mind at that time, I was like, a dollar? I got that. Completely missed the point. And the point surely is that trouble is expensive. And more times than not, far more costly than its impetus was worth. All right, so now you know how I feel. I was starting the damn show off. But we gonna take a break. And when we take a break, we're gonna see if we can, shake the hate and come back and be great. We'll be back in just a few ticks. This is the Life Malcolm Show, y'all.
So believe we 100,000 everything gon' be okay. Call Ricky, he coming. He taking kids state of Florida. Grab a pin of sundown. 184-361 Rick. That's 184-361-425. Never word from the point forward. Just recline. Just ask Ricky. Plus your boy statewide. Just in case you missed it, I'ma tell you one more time. 184-361 Rick. Call Ricky. Ask Ricky. Legal medical referral service. The doctors and lawyers in our network are trained in handling auto injury claims and getting you the best medical treatment and recovery. Dial 1-844-361-RICK. That's 1-844-361-7425. Ricky. Ask Ricky.
Hi, this is Angela Birdsong, and during the week, I'm affectionately known as the Medicare Lady. Do not try to navigate Medicare without me. Please call me at 813-476-4837. I also do life insurance, and I will help people who are Medicare Medicaid. Once again, 813-476-4837. 4837.
All right. Yeah. So, one of the things that I like, one of the things I really love about the show, I gotta tell you, welcome back to the Life Malcolm Show right here on In Touch News. I'm your host, Life Malcolm, and you can call me right now at 813-444-9588, and we can talk about whatever you want to talk about today. You can call me and ask some questions, and I'm going to tell you, I don't care. Look, even if it's just one caller and you have a lot of questions, that's cool. We're going to talk. And too bad for the callers. If they want to get in and they don't get in, so what? If you call and you want to talk, we going to talk. How about that? So don't feel bad if you want to call. Don't hesitate to call because you don't think that you're going to be able to have a conversation. We ask me whatever. We're going to talk about whatever. And, yeah. So, yeah, feel free to call 813-444-9588. And, if you want to leave some comments, do that. Leave some comments in the Facebook and stuff. I'm trying to make sure I can keep up with those things so far. Not too many comments. So, we're good. Keeping pace. All right. Wanted to tell you about my weekend. Had a pretty cool weekend. Oh, let me tell you about the week. Hey, so last week, thought we had to prepare for trial, so that's why it didn't make it to the show last week. You all might have seen a replay, but ended up not having to go to trial. State doing this and doing that, doing this, doing that. So that morning, the morning I thought we had trial, the court decided to continue the court hearing, that trial date, until a day in the future. And so gave us a little time to work on what's called oral argument. We had to do oral argument in the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals, which is the Federal Court of Appeals. You might remember that in 2014, bandits with badges came to my house, and some white woman with a very unfortunate face who works for the Hillsborough County Animal Services, poor animals. But they came to my home, falsely accused me of all kinds of crimes, and attempted to put me in prison for some time, and ended up going to trial on the trumped up charges, and a jury of 6 came back and declared me not guilty on all 3 charges. So I sued their ass, not the jury, sued the city. I sued the city of Tampa and those nasty cops that made up lies and trumped up charges, tried to put me in prison, and the unfortunate faced white woman who scares the animals for the Hillsborough County Animal Service. So, and by the way, when I say I sued him, I mean me, myself, and I wrote the complaint. I wrote all the motions and litigated the case all the way up to the summary judgment phase. We were even able to overcome the qualified immunity monster that scares a lot of people away from even filing a federal lawsuit when police are the culprits, because summary judgment is the place that cases, such civil rights cases, go to die. But I was able to, while in law school, I wrote this. And law school didn't help, worth a damn. Nobody in law school helped, and law school didn't help craft do this litigation. So we made it all the way to the summary judgment phase, and our case did not die. We survived summary judgment. And so the unfortunate faced white woman and the city of Tampa police, the 4 defendants for the city of Tampa police, decided to appeal. The county worker decided that she didn't want that smoke, so she dropped out. She pulled back from her appeal, and the 4 city cops, they still trying to hold on to the lie. And so we had to, they filed their appeal brief, we filed ours, and we requested oral argument. And so when I won at the summary judgment phase, I thought it was a good time to enlist the assistance of an attorney, which I did, and that's how I ended up being at a Celia law firm. A good friend of mine from law school, brother who's a brother from another mother, suggested, when I mentioned to him I had thoughts of getting an attorney to help with this appeal phase of the litigation, he suggested and introduced me to Jeremy McClymont over at Acelia Law. I went and talked with Jay, told her what I had going on, thought it was a good case, jumped on board, appreciated some of the work that I was able to do up to that point, thought I might be an asset to the firm, offered me a position at the firm even before I successfully passed the bar exam. I guess you can't unsuccessfully pass the bar exam. I should say successfully completed that whole bar exam process. And, been at the law firm where we practice criminal defense and civil rights mainly. We do some other things, but mainly criminal defense and civil rights. And so when I say we, although I did start the thing and take it that far, now it's a we. And we went to oral argument this past Thursday in Jacksonville. It was real cool. Jeremy did an incredible job arguing in front of a panel of 3 judges, Judge Ed Carnes, Judge Newsom. I just know Ed Carnes because he's been on that panel since 1992, and he's a remarkable character. He stands out. And I think the other reason why I had to know his name, because there are 2 Carnes who are in the 11th Circuit, who are 11th Circuit judges, and I needed to know which Carnes was on our panel. So that's why I remember his name, I'm sure. But anyway, so Ed Carnes, and that's why you should know, so you would know that it wasn't the other Carnes. So Judge Ed Carnes, Judge Newsom, and Judge Jordan. So 1992 was when Carnes was appointed a Clinton judge. Newsom is a Trump judge, and Jordan an Obama judge. But they were all very, very smart judges. They knew the cases. There were 4 oral arguments on Thursday when we were in the courtroom. The judges were familiar with all the material, showed expertise and thorough knowledge of the law, and believe that I think they're going to affirm the district court's decision from which the city defendants appealed, because the district court judge, when ruling in our favor, made the right decision. That's just one part of that experience. I got an opportunity to see my cousin, Big Walt, whom I have not seen in about 6 or 7 years, about 6 years I haven't seen him. Got a chance to see that brother, and we sat up and laughed and talked and just had great times reminiscing about just all the fun that we used to have, and really expressing deep appreciation for the accomplishments we have each achieved in the time since we last saw one another. That was a really good time. And so that was Wednesday night when we got into Jacksonville. After that, got an opportunity, of course, to go and present in court with some relatively brilliant attorneys, one of them being Michael Davis, who is an African attorney who practices in South Florida, Miami. And Michael, like Jeremy and I, are a part of this collective of African attorneys who do civil rights work. And so watching Michael do his thing, Michael's oral argument was right after ours. And I mean, absolutely brilliant, stellar argument. Handled all the tough questions with finesse and charm and skill. I mean, just really, really sharp. So it was good watching him. Then had an opportunity to go and meet another attorney, Noah, who they say every meeting it's bound to occur where somebody in the meeting is going to say, ask Noah. So he's like this big wig attorney, African, I think he's from Jamaica. And he's doing this thing in federal court. And right in between, during a break, he was on break. He was in the middle of the trial, but had a lunch break and still took some time to kick it with us young lawyers, which was cool. And met a guy named Doug. And Doug was cool, and another attorney, and older guy, white guy, been married for 38 years, so that was inspirational. And I'm gonna say some more about marriage when we come back, because we got to take a break in a minute. And you can call and talk to me if you want. Talk about anything we talk about. You want to ask about whatever, because I'm gonna talk about some stuff. Just wanted to tell y'all about my weekend, but I had to tell y'all about my road trip up here to the studio first. And but yeah, so met Doug. I'm gonna think of Doug's last name in a minute too. I don't want to get it wrong. But met Doug. Doug was really cool, man. Just really excited to see these young Africans. Doug is an older white guy. Like I said, he's been married for 38 years, so he's tell that way. But he had a whole lot of encouraging words, if you will. He seemed to be genuinely pleased to see me take this case as far as I have, and to see Jay and Michael argue their respective cases, our respective cases, as brilliantly as they did. And so it was a real treat seeing him. And then I called my man Moses West up. I was like, yo, Mo, I'm in Jayville. Why don't you come through and holler at your boy? And he was like, yo, where you at? I'm over here at Fuzzy's and Fair. He's like, man, I'll be right there. And so, man, he had to go to work and all that, but he still hopped in his car, stopped through the little sandwich shop, man, sat there, kicked it with us for about a half hour or so. Man, it was just a really, really good trip. And on the way back, I got to see my friend who introduced me to Jay in the first place, Senor Ramos, Kenny Ramos. And so it was just a really, really good Wednesday, Thursday, and yeah. When we come back, because we got to take a break. So when we come back, I'll tell you about the weekend, and hopefully I'll hear from you and maybe even hear about yours. This is the Life Malcolm Show. We'll be back.
Hey, this is Agent Wright, better known as Mr. Clean. You looking for some great barbecues? Come see them two brothers on the grill, located at 423 Virginia Street, Charleston, West Virginia. We got ribs, chicken, pulled pork, brisket, collard greens, mac and cheese, baby. Come get some and get you a nice, smooth cigar. 304-550 304-550-4431. That is 304-550-4431. Come get some, baby. The Rib Man, mama, the Rib Man.
Cancer affects everyone, but minority populations are often hit hardest. Moffitt Cancer Center is working to address the barriers that keep some groups from getting the care they need. African Americans develop cancer at a younger age, have more aggressive cancers, and experience worse outcomes than the general population.
While cancer treatment is evolving with precision medicine, who is being left behind? We know for many decades that some groups experience a greater burden of cancer than others. We can prevent it, we can detect it early. It's very beatable when we find it early. I have worked with cancer patients during their treatment. All cancer patients have courage.
So my treatment was about 18 months. I had 3 cancers and 7 surgeries. But my son told me, like, Mom, you're the strongest person that I know. Moffitt saved my life.
During COVID-19, Moffitt is a safe place for your cancer care. Call now to schedule an appointment.
All right. So this is Life Malcolm show, y'all. And I was just telling y'all about my weekend, my week, and then my weekend. I told you I went to the 11th Circuit for oral argument in a case that I've been able to push quite far in the federal court against the bandits who came to my home to lock me up, put me in prison, if not kill me. And then, told you I stopped off before the break. I stopped with being able to hook up with my man, Kenny Ramos, on the way home from Jacksonville because he lives up there in the Orlando area. So we stopped through there. Traffic was good. I mean, just a really, really good time. Had a great weekend. Sunday was my first wedding anniversary. And thank you. I'm waiting on my audience to kick in. And man, it was a really good time. Went and had breakfast at this place called The Library. And it was really cool, just really good food, pleasant environment, and just an all around good time. And then right after that, the day after that, my mother celebrated her 81st birthday. And so it's, for as long as I can remember, been a pleasure to be able to see her face and hear her voice and wish her a happy birthday for all these years. So that was cool. And yeah, just a good weekend. All right, okay, cool. Now I want to talk to y'all about some stuff that everybody else talking about. And I'm just going to jump right into it. I'm going to tell you. No. DJ cut the music. I forgot to mention this. On the 9th, I should have backed it up. My bad. I started with the 10th, which is my anniversary. But on October 9th, I had the esteemed honor to participate in a surprise Zoom birthday party. You ever had a surprise Zoom birthday party? It was so cool. Where what they did was had everybody sign in as numbers. And so you had your camera off, of course your microphone muted, and everybody signed in as numbers. And then, so of course the guests of honor were, they were expecting people to be there, but they just didn't know who the people were behind the number. And so when the host or the MC would call the number, the person would turn the camera on and be like, "It's me." And it was really cool, man. Just a really good time. And this celebration was for Chairman Omali Yeshitela's birthday, his 80th birthday. Chairman Omali Yeshitela is the leader of the International African Revolution, and the chairman of the African People's Socialist Party, and the leader of the Uhuru movement, and the chairman of the Black is Back, which is one reason why I'm wearing my Black is Back t-shirt today. And yeah, 80 years, man. 80 years strong. He's been fighting, leading this charge for African freedom and the freedom of Africa. You know, and still going strong. You know, no, it doesn't look like he's slowing down at all. Although I'm sure he'd probably say he might be slowing down just a tad. And his wife, Deputy Chair Ona Zane used to tell her, her birthday was the same day as Chairman's. It is the same day as Chairman's. And so we had an opportunity to be a part of that festivity, then rolled into the 9th, then into the 10th, then into the 11th. And so now, coming off of that wave, we're here. And, you know, couldn't really get on the Facebook and in the media and stuff and talk about this R. Kelly thing. I got to talk about this thing. Let me tell you something about this R. Kelly. Look, say what you want to say about R. Kelly and what y'all may think he did and what he may be convicted of doing. So all that. But I'm going to tell you this. Whatever R. Kelly does, whatever R. Kelly gets, some of y'all deserve worse, because some of y'all treat y'all children far worse than R. Kelly has ever been alleged to treat these young girls. I see you in stores snatching them and hitting them and yelling at them and cussing at them. And whatever R. Kelly deserves, parents who treat children that way deserve far worse. Stop yelling at your children. Stop beating on your children. Stop threatening your children. You don't have to be a damn tyrant to be a good parent. Now, what? Call now. 813-444-9588 and challenge me on that. Challenge me on that. You don't have to beat your children and be a bully and threaten them in order to be a good parent. No. And I understand. You know, Chairman O'Malley used to tell us already applied the theory of African internationalism to this phenomenon of this viciousness and this brutality that oftentimes people pass off as parenting and discipline and caring about children, because our colonizers have made us so afraid of them, so afraid of their brutality and their viciousness, that we would be brutal and vicious to our children, hoping to scare our children into some kind of conformity, law compliance, so as to not be deemed antisocial or criminal and feel the heavy hand of the state. I understand. Chairman's laid it out, made it plain, made it clear. But when that may have made sense, that may have been, it never made sense. No, DJ Cuddy music, it never made sense. That reality may have been conceivable, maybe even plausible, back when our parents had limited resources, limited experiences, did not know enough, had not seen much more than brutality themselves to be able to have a different kind of response to, or a different kind of method of correcting and training our children. But no, not now. You can't make me believe that now. No. It's too many TV. Y'all got too many phones. Y'all, it's too much access to information, to good information. If you want to find it, you can. If you want to be a parent, a good parent. Who the hell just wake up and know how to be a good parent unless you were fortunate enough to have just good parents and maybe even watch them parent somebody else, not you, because usually the first child has a different experience than the younger siblings. I know my younger children have the benefit of me making a lot of mistakes with the older two and learning from them. But right today, nah, you don't get to tell me nothing about R. Kelly when you hit your children. You don't get to tell me nothing about R. Kelly when you cuss your children. You don't get to tell me nothing about R. Kelly when you call your children names. You don't get to tell me nothing about R. Kelly when you ain't much better than he. When you don't treat young people much better. Well, let me say it differently. You treat young people far worse. So I wanted to say that. I want anybody to call in and challenge. You can. 4813-444-9588. My children, the other day the school called me about one of them. I'm not going to expose all the business. But just know it's one of them. And you know I have 3, 24, 14, and 12, and you can maybe eliminate one and have a 50-50 shot at who the school called about. But the school called me, and I relayed this phone call to that daughter. And the daughter asked me something strange. She said, "Am I in trouble?" I said, "What do you mean?" And she said, "Am I in trouble?" And I said, "What do you mean?" And she said, "You know, trouble." I said, "Hey, wait a minute. Have you ever in your life heard me say, you're going to be in trouble? No. Have you ever in your life heard me say, I'm going to put you on punishment? No. Okay. So you're asking me if you're going to be in trouble. I don't know what that means. Maybe you can ask me a question that will help me answer what it is you want to know. She says, am I going to be in trouble with the school? Well, you got to ask the school that. I don't know. But yeah, we shouldn't talk to our children. My children have never, not even the older two, because I was at least this smart. I've never wanted my children to equate correction with trouble, to connect training with punishment. Nah, you ain't gotta do that. Children learn quite easily if you teach them, if you train them. It's a scientific fact that children can learn. All we got to do is teach them. All we got to do is teach them. Be patient. Be loving. Remember that children are not little adults. Children are children who, if you believe in the Bible, have to train. Children, foolishness is bound in the heart of the child, but the rod of correction will drive it out. And there's a rod in the mouth that's in the Bible too. So you don't have to just, be worse than R. Kelly to your children. All right. So, this is the Life Malcolm Show. We got one more segment, and we're going to talk about what the hell, Dave Chappelle, when we come back. This is the Life Malcolm Show, y'all. See you on the other side of the break.
Excuse me, but does this station keep you in touch?
A lot.
How do you like the music?
A lot.
Do they play your favorite songs?
A lot.
And in just 2 words, how do you like the station?
A lot.
There you have it, folks. The moral of the story is our listeners like us
A lot.
in touching you 24/7 on the World Wide Web. We're In Touch Radio.
Hi, this is Angela Birdsong, and during the week, I'm affectionately known as the Medicare Lady. Do not try to navigate Medicare without me. Please call me at 813-476-4837. I also do life insurance, and I will help people who are Medicare, Medicaid. Once again, 813-476-4837. 4837.
In Touch Radio.
This is Joel Sylvain
And Kevin Carr.
and we're with Power Moves, where celebrities, athletes, key influential executives
influencers,
share how they make money,
money,
how they attract power, and how they earn respect. Come join us every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Power Moves.
On In Touch Radio.
All right. It's gonna be our last. That was our last break of the evening. Welcome back to the Life Malcolm Show. All right, so we done talked about Chuck Swindoll and attitudes, life being 10%, what happens to you 90%, how you respond to it. And I brought that up because of a phone call I got right before I got to the show. And kind of threw my vibe off. What we were covering, actually. And then I talked about the incredible experiences I had kicking it with some fellow attorneys and some family and friends. Really, really cool. Talked about my anniversary, which is really cool. You know, it's an accomplishment. And then I just told y'all that some of y'all worse than R. Kelly are. R. Kelly is alleged to have been to some children. You know. Yeah, well. Now, the other thing that has been going on in the news is this Dave Chappelle thing, and apparently some people are mad with Dave Chappelle. I mean, what the hell? So, look, I agree that sex is a fact. If you don't agree, call me up, tell me I'm wrong. Let's talk about it. Prove me wrong. It's just a fact. And while I appreciate there are people who are, as Dave said, you know, his friend expressed, you know, are having a human experience. I get that. You know, and sometimes when one's human experience does not match up to facts, or even sometimes one's perception of the human experience, because all of us having a human experience, but oftentimes when one's human experience or perception of the human experience does not match up to facts, we call them crazy. Something wrong with them. You know, for example, Africans who think they African American, for example, you know, them type people. No, they black as hell. Big nose, thick lips, nappy hair. Can go outside and stay in the sun, don't get no sunburn, and somehow they think they is the American. When we know that the American ain't nothing but the remix of the European. And you know who got straight hair and thin nose and thin lips, pointy nose, thin lips, and can't go outside in the sun and stay out there too long without being sunburned. There's a clear difference. One is the colonizer, the other is the colonized. But we have, some of us have, you know, gotten to the point where we really believe that there's no different. We identify. That's the word I'm looking for. We identify as the colonized colonizer. Yeah, African American, the colonized colonizer. We identify as that, even though there ain't no basis nowhere in reality to believe it. You know, some people say, well, if you were born in America, that make you an American. Well, why the hell that didn't work for the 200 years when Africans were being born, the 200 or so years Africans were being born in America every day and still one American? You remember, that's what the judge in the Dred Scott case, what was that thing, like 1857, that's what the judge, the Supreme Court judge, the highest white man, court in the land, told Dred Scott, hey, don't no Negro have any rights that a white man is bound to respect. I don't care when you was born here. I don't care that you were born here, when you were born here, if your grandpappy was born here. No. So it ain't just because you born here. Like our dear brother Malcolm said, just because a chicken is born in an oven, that don't make them biscuits. So now, and I must admit, I'm gonna get back to this Dave Chappelle and this identified thing, because this look, people do what they want to do, do it, whatever, do it. But if you do it outside, I get to talk about it. It's my business. If you do it inside your house, that's your business. If you do it behind closed doors, that's your business. If you do it with don't nobody see it and you don't talk about it, that's your business. But if you do it outside, if you do it where I can see it, if you do it inside and then talk about it outside where I can hear it, then now it's our business. Yeah, and I get to talk about it. So these people who claim to be one kind of thing trapped in, how they put it, say they trapped inside a body, like, oh yeah, like they say a man trapped inside a woman's body. I guess a unhealthy person trapped inside a sick person's body, or a healthy person trapped inside a sick person's body. I mean, they identify as healthy. Like, and I kind of get it, because these days with all this vaccine prejudice, I think I might have told you I've learned to identify as vaccinated. Even though I'm unvaccinated, I identify as vaccinated, because you can just identify as I'm an unvaccinated man in a vaccinated man's body. No, I think that's how it works. I don't know, but look, if you think you want to be, if you are the transgender, I don't really know how it go. But I think that's when you have some kind of intervention, like, and start messing around with your anatomy, so that, like, if you a man with a male end, and like again, sex is a matter of fact. I wish I'm trying to find a plug or something, like a cable. You got a charger. You don't have to look for it. I got one. Hold on. Let me show you something. Yeah. So there is a male end and a female end. Whether you're talking garden hose, there's a male end and a female end. It's just a matter of fact. It's a social reality for sure. And so, if you gonna try to change the fact around, for example, if you try to remove your male end or trade your male end for a female end, it doesn't change your reality, because you still have a prostate. If you're a man I don't care what you do, unless you get your prostate removed too. I never heard of that kind of cosmetic surgery. But look, I hate to laugh at some people's human experience, but hell, people laugh at mine. And sometimes they're funny. Guess my big point, though, is why do people get mad with the truth? You shouldn't get mad if you don't like the truth. Number one, I wouldn't know if you're transgender or not if you don't tell me. I bet you. I don't know. I wouldn't know, and most likely wouldn't care. I wouldn't care what kind of sexual you are. Homosexual, asexual, bisexual, heterosexual. I do care about that. Like, but I don't. I wouldn't know unless out in public getting busy, or you going around talking about your bedroom business. And if you get to talk about it in public, if you put it out for public scrutiny, how the hell you get mad when you scrutinized? And so, if you don't like something somebody says about you, if it's true, then you ought to change that reality. If it ain't true, then don't worry about it. Why get mad about a lie? All right. So, you know how we do. Usually close out with a quote or this or that or something. And so I think I found this attitudes piece that I want to share with you from Mr. Chuck Swindoll. And we have just a couple of minutes before we go. I'm going to read through this. We read on the Life Malcolm Show. Here we are. The longer I live, the more I realize the impact of attitude on life. Attitude, to me, is more important than facts. It is more important than past, than education, than money, than circumstances, than failures, than successes, than what other people think, say, or do. It is more important than appearance, giftedness, or skill. It will make or break a company, a church, a home. The remarkable thing is we have a choice every day regarding the attitude we embrace for that day. We cannot change our past. We cannot change the fact that people will act in a certain way. We cannot change the inevitable. The only thing we can do is play the one string we have, and that is our attitude. I am convinced that life is 10% what happens to me and 90% how I react to it. And so it is with you. We are in charge of our attitudes. And it's good to read it and remember it. And keep in mind, every day you wake up with two things, at least. A chance and a choice. Make the best of them both. All right, y'all. It's been real. I enjoyed it. Look forward to the next time. To be continued. This is the Life Malcolm Show, y'all. In Touch News.